After working with over 400 coaches, content creators, and entrepreneurs, I noticed something kind of weird. Everyone assumes scaling past $10,000 per month just means doing more of what got you there. But the strategies that get you to 10K will actually keep you stuck and prevent you from scaling past it. So if you're currently around $10,000 a month in revenue, you know that after tools, vendor payments, taxes, and other expenses, you're probably not making as much as you did at your last job that you quit. Except this time you're working double the amount of hours for the same results. Now, you've essentially put yourself in what I call the golden handcuffs of entrepreneurship. So I reverse engineered what the coaches like myself making $100K a month on a consistent basis do differently, and I'm gonna explain everything in this video. So the first thing I wanna talk about is the golden handcuff syndrome, because you might not even be aware that you have this going on in your business right now. So this is where you're continuously trading your time for money. So think of a highly sought after and highly paid one-on-one coach. I know some one-on-one coaches that charge upwards of $250,000 a year. But the problem with one-on-one coaching is that one, not everybody can charge that, and two, you're always just getting paid for your hours. And what starts to happen is that you have no leverage in your business, so you start to get burnt out. And I believe that you started your business because you don't want to work a job, you don't want to work corporate, because that, burned you out. So you don't want to get burnt out by your business by not understanding the power and the art of delegation. So this is where you have to actually learn how to trade your money for time, because the course creators and online coaches that are making $100,000 a month have people, automations, and systems working for them around the clock instead of them working for their businesses. Now, the next point of the golden handcuff syndrome is that you might be afraid at 10K a month to raise your prices. If you have over 70% cash to revenue on your high ticket product, you need to raise your price because you're underpriced for your market. So oftentimes we think we need to raise our prices by $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. Just make a small price increase and keep increasing your price until someone says no. And the last one is doing everything yourself because you say no one can do it like you. Well, unfortunately, all this means is you haven't learned how to properly delegate, train, and actually retain players and good talent. And if you do decide to raise your prices, it's actually better because you just keep going up market and start attracting more premium clients that you're gonna get amazing results for. And remember, price is what you pay, but value is what you get. So now that you know what the golden handcuff syndrome is, you can ask yourself, am I stuck inside of my business? Because the truth is, the only way to scale your business is to work on your business, not in your business. And this is where you move from being a service provider like Giulia, the one-on-one coach, to a business owner like Giulia, the founder of Creator to Cashflow, the online education company. So what you have to start to think about is, can my current business scale beyond me? Because one of the biggest problems with content creator businesses is that they have key man risk, meaning if the founder doesn't appear, whether that's in the content, in the coaching, in the fulfillment, will the product still sell? So what I want you to start asking yourself is, am I actually building a business, or am I just becoming a higher and higher paid coach? Because this is where we are going to start compounding our results, because we're starting to build like a true company versus just as a creator. So one thing that's so important is to start asking yourself, can this thing run without me? So if you've never stress test your business, now is the time. I intentionally take vacations throughout the year to stress test my business. Yes, I love to travel too, but it's such a good reminder to show me where I need to still be driving certain parts of my business versus where my business can run without me. So now that you understand how to no longer trade your time for money, here's how you can actually put this into practice with the 4-pillar escape plan. So pillar number 1 is value-based pricing. You need to stop competing on price because someone is always going to outperform you. So what you need to start asking yourself is, what value is somebody getting from the product that I'm selling? And then pillar number 2 is that you need to learn how to productize your experience. So let's take the example again of the highly paid one-on-one coach. Well, the reason why they're stuck in one-on-one coaching is because they don't know how to get repeatable results for their clients. So I'll never forget when I created my first high ticket offer, my biggest and my core driver in that offer was, how do I get this result for not just one client, but hundreds of clients? And that's when I built my Cash social media sales system, which is the exact system that we install for our students through the Creator to Cashflow Academy. Now, the reason why I shifted away from coaching and into system installation and building high ticket done with you offers, creating a community, is because I wanted to make sure that we could get results across the board for many different niches, but for my one specific client avatar. And that's what leads me into pillar number 3, which is building systems that run without you. Now, this one's super hard because I feel like the word systems is a very vague word, but what we start to understand is that your business is only as strong as the systems you have behind it. So I always give the example of one time, a few years ago, I was super sick. Like, I actually had laryngitis and I couldn't speak. And I felt really stressed because I was like, I can't take sales calls, I can't do this, I can't do that. And that would be like an old version of me feeling stressed. But because I had sales reps in place and I had monthly recurring revenue coming in through my coaching programs, I had like a $15,000 day and I was sick in bed and wasn't even working. So that is the power of building systems that can run a business that doesn't need to run on you, the personal brand, or the creator, which is also why strategic delegation is so important. And that is pillar number 4, how to actually delegate, build a team, attract talent, but also retain talent. For example, I'm actually going on my second team member, gonna cross over 1 year with us just this year. And it's so great to just see how people can be developed, where oftentimes I'll see a lot of entrepreneurs at 10K a month fire their VA or fire their OBM because they're like, they don't know how to do anything and I should just do it myself. And listen, I used to be that person. I had a team of 5 or 6 people. And then I was like, this is too difficult. No one knows what to do. I'm going to fully scale it back and I'm going to just do it myself. And I had 1 team member and I was making 170K a month, 180K a month, like really high cash months. But I realized that I wasn't happy because I just was trading my time for money at a way larger scale. So even though the money was great, and I don't think anyone's going to ever complain about making $180,000 in a month with a 92% profit margin, but what you're going to have to start to understand is that that's really not a business, that's a highly paid job. So I just want to be super straight up with you that this is just information, right? I'm just telling you information from my lived experience and what I've coached hundreds and hundreds of people on. But the truth is, you have to actually go out and take action and implement. So for me, that looks like investing in coaching programs and working with mentors. And that's also why I sell coaching and I sell high ticket coaching programs, because I realize the number one skill gap is in implementation, not information. And this is exactly where people get stuck at 10K a month, because they just keep watching a ton of videos, but they don't actually take action in the right direction. So even though all this information is great and it definitely is going to help you scale your business, I don't want us to forget what scaling too fast can look like without a foundation. For example, if you do something that works exceptionally well, but you hate it and it burns you out and it doesn't excite you, that means you're scaling too fast without a foundation and you're trying to do everything at once. And if you've ever read the book, The One Thing, you'll understand that doing one thing amazing is way better than doing a million things in different directions. So I want you to think of a sun versus a ladder. So if we were to draw a sun, right, a sun has many different specks going all around. But if we build a ladder, those specks actually build on top of each other. And if you keep building on top of the one core objective that you're trying to get to, for example, 100K a month, then you're gonna get there faster, even though it might feel a little bit more painful. And that's why I see most entrepreneurs at 10K a month underestimate the transition period, because it took me 2 years to hit my first 100K month, but ever since I got there, I've stayed consistent because I actually took the time to build the foundation of what it was going to take to get to 100K a month consistently. So the same way I'm teaching you to scale your one signature high ticket offer, this is exactly what I've done with the Creator to Cashflow Academy over the past few years. And now I'm on a mission to teach 10,000 niche creators how to create, sell, and monetize high ticket courses and actually turn that into an online education company for their niche. So go ahead, click the first link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.